So I'll just start off by demonstrating the different herbs that we use, and we'll get into it. And at any point, if you have questions as you're eating, feel free to let me know. So it's a 3-step process for making the biryani, and I made it the way that my aunt taught me. And before I left Zimbabwe, she made a whole big pot for me, so I had a whole week of just eating it every day, and I was so excited. And it's a little spicy, so if you have a high spice tolerance, forgive me. I mean, a low spice tolerance, forgive me. So the first step that you start with is by having your rice. So we use this basmati brown rice, and you can get it from Aldi's. And I know you can get it as well from Myers as well. So we use this basmati brown rice. So you soak it for 20 minutes. So I soaked this, and when you soak it, you realize it actually puffs up, and it makes it way easier when it comes to cooking it. And once it's done and cooked, it will look like this. I'm not sure if our cameras can see it as well, and everyone, if you can see it. So this is how it'll look like when it is cooked. And it actually looks really good and tastes really good, and it's a long grain as well. So if you're familiar with just eating white rice, and when you eat this one, it's kind of hard to tell the difference sometimes, especially when you've infused it with the vegetables that you're eating. So that's the aspect of the rice. So we've already cooked the rice, and we leave it here. And then when I come to the step for what you need to do with the rice, I'll show you. So now I'm going to go to step number 2. So if you've noticed, there's cashews in it. So just give a preference for those who may be allergic to nuts. There's cashew nuts in it. That's the only item that could cause something that we don't want it to cause. So cashews are optional to use for topping, and onions as well. It's just to make it look pretty when you're done. So once you're done layering it, you put the toppings on top. And this is how it looks like. It's basically just slightly sauteing the cashews and the onion together. So that's what it is. So I'm going to go ahead now and make the main part of it, which is the vegetable part. So I'm going to make it in my pot, and at any point, if we have somebody who wants to volunteer and help with stirring the pot, even though I know you're trying to eat your food, feel free to come. So we're just going to add a bit of the olive oil in the pot. And then I always prefer starting with putting my onions in, as well as putting my garlic as well. So, and normally I'm like one of those people. I've watched some reels where when you're cooking, whenever you touch something, you go to the sink and you're washing your hands and you're coming back. That's me. So I'm pretending like I'm washing my hands and coming back. So then you just start with the turmeric, and you just add your turmeric inside. And one thing I love about cooking this, it is the aroma it brings. And for me, it just reminds me of childhood, because it's just so beautiful. Then you add your bay leaves. And all the other spices that you have that are listed on the ingredients. And one thing too is, if you don't have the biryani spice, you can always use the one that's called garam masala. That one works as well. So you use that. How's the food tasting so far? I'm hearing silence. I'm like, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Okay, I'm getting thumbs up. So praise the Lord. Okay, we just keep adding them. So because I have been cooking here quite some time, I've learned the importance of measuring because I hardly measure. But I realized it's good to measure because people are like, what did you put? And I'm like, I don't know the measurements. So I'm learning to measure. So I just use a teaspoon sometimes. So it's important to just keep stirring as you go. And the point where I add the other vegetables like the tomatoes is when I smell that the turmeric has actually cooked. Because you can taste when the turmeric is raw. I was trained to taste when the turmeric is raw and when it is cooked. So that gives it the difference when you leave it to cook for some time. So as I'm turning it right now, I'm smelling like, it's not yet there yet. And for fun, I added mint. I went a little unconventional because I love doing things sometimes. And then I added some mint in it just to give it a different flavor and texture when you taste it. And one thing with the coriander seeds, they will let you know when they're ready is because they start popping. And if you don't like to take your coriander seeds out, you can grind them if you have like the grinder. So for me right now, it smells pretty good up here. I had a friend who used to tell me, when people cook, you can smell they clothes smell of the food, and I'm like, well, it's all those spices. When you cook it every day, you kind of end up start smelling of it, but then you get used to it, and when you don't smell it, you're like, am I at the right house? So now I can smell that, okay, we're getting to a point where it's cooked, and you can actually even see the color. It changes color and becomes a little bit like golden. That's when you see, and then I get ready to add the tomatoes. So because I love having my vegetables not overly cooked, and by vegetables I mean like broccoli, cauliflower, and my green beans, I like having them when they just still a little crunchy. I put them in last. And because you're gonna leave it to like simmer a bit, so it depends on how overcooked you like your vegetables to be. Does anyone have any questions whilst we do this? No, people are just chewing away. Well, that's the good thing with having whole grain food. You are kind of forced to exercise your mouth, right, and your jaw. Ginger garlic paste. So there's a store down the street. Oh, you would like to ask it again for those that are online so they can hear your question.
Where do you find that in the store?
Okay. The ginger garlic paste from Harding's store right down the street. You can get it from Walmart. You can get it from Myers, even though I pronounce it major, but you can get it from Myers. You can get it there. So they have it like in a tube paste. Or the best is just to make it from scratch. You get the whole ginger and the whole garlic and just finely chop it, all of them, and then you can put them in there. I find that's the most economical way to do it. And it's always good if you can use it without it being over processed and packaged. That's the best option. Okay, so now before I add the vegetables, because my tomatoes are already beginning to cook and simmer and they're disintegrating and not looking like tomatoes, I'm now at the point where I will add the coconut milk. So if this was not a plant-based recipe, then there would be yogurt or a substitute that's called, sometimes you'd add ghee into it, or something called lacto, where I grew up in Zimbabwe, it's called lacto. But we're going to add coconut milk, and it has the same texture to just basically do the same thing and gives it that nice flavor as well. So I add that inside, and then you kind of just hear the simmering go away slightly. I love cooking because for me, it's quite therapeutic and healing. So whenever I'm in the kitchen cooking a lot, it's normally because I'm thinking a lot and trying not to think, and I'm just there with the pots and the vegetables and getting to experiment and learn, oh, this flavor, I like it, and I want to change this recipe. So I'm thankful for people who start recipes because then I get to work on them more. Okay. So this is really looking good. And so now I'm going to add the vegetables that we have. So we have green beans, cauliflower, broccoli, and mushrooms. So with the mushrooms as well, you can choose to add the mushrooms when you onions. You could choose to do that, or you could choose to add them at the same time. Depends on how cooked you like your mushrooms. So how many of you have had biryani before today? Oh, wow. Okay. So I'm going to get expert results and reviews because they've tried it before. Please feel free to leave comments on our YouTube channel or Facebook page and Instagram. So those who watch can see that they too can come here and try the food as well and get to enjoy the lectures that come after it. It's a wonderful place. Wonderful place to come with your family. Wonderful place to come even for those in relationships. This can be a date, a unique way to interact together. So you. Okay, so whilst that is cooking, I'm going to show you how it actually looks like. So this is the one that you have actually been eating. So it looks like this. I'm not going to tilt it too much in case it just falls and we have a whole mess, but this is how it looks like. So when you're done, it will look like this. And if you're like me, when I grew up cooking with my dad, we hardly ate with everyone else on the table because we were done eating in the kitchen, sampling the whole time. So this could be a good way to sample and just basically have it as a soup. If you want to take it out and be like, oh, I'll have this with another meal or do something else with it, you can do that as well. Okay, so now we've come to the point where I'm going to show you how to layer it. So I try to get a clear glass bowl so you can see it. So you can have option of putting different layers, which is the gravy that you made. So it'll be the rice, the gravy, the rice, the gravy. Or you could just have the option of putting the rice in and just mixing it together, and that's how you can have it. But I like the layered flavor because you have different flavors as you go, and when you leave it to simmer, it flavors differently. So you could do that as well. So I'm gonna come and leave that cooking, and I'll layer. Is there anybody who would like to help me with layering it? Emmy, may I please ask you to come and help me? Emmy is my amazing colleague, and she's one of their interns here at Village, and she's actually going to be demonstrating the salad. Emmy has been teaching me to enjoy salad because she loves it. You can take your gloves. So we're going to start off. Are you able to see this from where you're sitting? Our online audience, are you able to see it as well? Okay. So we're going to start with just layering some rice at the base. One thing I like about Emmy, she's tall. so she can stretch way more. I'm like on my tippy toes and she's just like amazing. Great. So you can choose to lay it how you prefer. Can be way more rice, less gravy, whatever your preference is. And then afterwards, we will put the gravy. So it will kind of look like a vegetable trifle. So instead of chocolate, cake, ice cream, it's rice, the gravy, and rice. So this is you layering it however you want. So I'm going to ask a quiz question. Which herbs did I ask you to take out of your plate and not to eat? Okay. And what's the last one? Cardamom, exactly. That's true. I've had incidences where I'm like, because I grew up eating with my hands, I'm like chewing, enjoying, and then you just crunch into it like, oh, your face sells you out, and everyone's like, oh, you got it.
Do we end with vegetables or rice?
Yes, there's more rice in that other one. We end with rice.
Okay.
She just asked a very good question. Do we end with the vegetables or do we end with the rice? So we end with the rice because we're going to put the toppings on top and then it looks pretty. And I have learned that I eat with my eyes first. So, and I know there's research about it. So if it doesn't look appetizing to my eyes, there's a high probability I'm not going to eat it. So, and my siblings have learned that too. So my mom, God bless her, she went all out of her way to make it look appetizing for all of us. Perfect. Okay, and then so now for the toppings, we're gonna use that one, and you can just sprinkle it however you would like. And then I just kept some fresh cilantro, so we can put it on top, cause it's nice and green, and the toppings are yellow, so it gives that nice contrast to the eyes and great to the taste buds. Okay. And I appreciate you, Emmy, for helping. I know you about to start your demonstration for how you made the salad. So this is how it will look like this, and then like that. So when you're dishing, it may not, when you now get it into your plate, it may not look as pretty as it looks when it's like this, but that's how it looks like. So that's the biryani. And what I normally do is I just cover it with tin foil because it'll be in a pot, and then leave it to simmer for like 5 minutes, and then switch off the heat and just leave it for another 5 minutes, and then afterwards I serve it with something else. And so today what we did was we decided to serve it with some salad on the side and some roasted potatoes. So at this point, I'm going to ask Emmy to come up as she lets us know why she chose that salad and how she made it and how it was tasting good. I know I cannot wait to eat it. She's been encouraging me to eat salad, and it's been a good journey. Testing. Yes.
Alrighty. Hello, everyone. So the salad that's on your plates, it's a pretty simple salad. It's spring greens, spinach, uh, mini peppers, mini sweet peppers, grape tomatoes, and cucumber. and the dressing is homemade as well. So the salad, it's like a nice variety of colors, and it has the vegetables are all fresh. So that's one of my favorite things about eating a salad, having that nice bite of all the vegetables. And the dressing is pretty simple. It's just lemon juice, olive oil, and seasonings of your choice. So I use garden mix seasoning. I use plenty of garlic and parsley. So when you can put 1 part lemon juice, 1 part olive oil, and put in your seasonings, putting some salt, and that'll just mix it up until it's emulsified, and that's your dressing.
Thank you. So I have a question. Why have you been encouraging me to eat my salad?
Well, salad is really important to any meal that you eat. It's best to always start with your raw food first.
Always saying your mic is gone off.
Hello? There we go. It's always best to eat your raw food first so that your stomach can be able to digest that first, since it's what's easier to digest. And I just really enjoy salad. So I always try to encourage my friends to eat more salad.
Thank you. Seems like we're having some mic situations, but she's going to repeat it.
Okay. So it's always best to start with your salad, since that's what's easier for your stomach to digest first. And I personally enjoy eating salad anyway, so I like to encourage my friends to eat more salad.
Yes, and I can vouch to that. If anyone needs some encouragement, contact Emmy and you will enjoy salad. Thank you so much, Emmy. At this moment in time, I am going to call up Hana, and Hana is my colleague as well and a health ministry intern here, and she made the amazing potatoes that you just ate. And when she was making them, I was like, "Ooh, they smelling good." So, Hana, tell us, how did you make your potatoes?
Sure. So you take your potato, whether it's a russet or Yuka potato, recommend those ones. Just peel them off, wash them thoroughly, and just chop them into cubes. I could just demonstrate that right here. And if you want to after you chop it, you can soak it for some time just to remove extra starch, so that when you bake it, it's nice and soft. So take your potato, put on my gloves here. And this is a very simple recipe, so 6 long for breakfast, dinner, however you want to use it. It's a nice side. So yeah, so take your potato. I like to just cut it in the middle. Let's cut in the middle. There's just a little bud part. Let's take that off. All right, so just cut it again, once again in the middle, and just chop it off into small cubes. Do the same with the other one. All right, so once you have your potatoes chopped, what you can do is just stick them in a pot, add some salt, and just boil them until they're slightly tender. This just helps it to be, when you bake it, that the outside is crispy, but the inside is nice and soft. And so that's what it's going to help out with. So yeah, take them. And before you do that, actually, we want to season them. Right. So on your recipe books, you will see the different seasonings we used, like cumin, cayenne pepper, smoked paprika. We used some garlic powder and creole seasoning. So I have this
Creole seasoning because,
well, my fiance is from Haiti, so I have immersed myself into the Haitian cuisine. So
it's beautiful to watch.
So yes. So we just take the potatoes and put on, after you boil them. It's an extra step, so if you don't want to do it, that's totally fine, but just go ahead and mix it with the seasoning. You can also add a little bit of oil, also just to help your pan not to stick. And yeah, just toss it around and it will be nice and colorful. Right? And then just stick it on the pan. And I like to put the turmeric twig just right there so it just infuses and it gives it a nice herby flavor. If you also want, you can just, take off some of them and just put them inside as well.
Yeah, rosemary and potatoes go so well together.
Yes. So just put it on the side there. Bake it on 425 for about 15 to 20 minutes, and then you got your nice crispy roasted potato.
Right. Thanks you so much, Hana. I really enjoy whenever she makes potatoes and cooks. Her food is great. And if you missed her previous demonstration, she did it about 2 weeks last month,
Yes,
right? She cooked last month, so I would advise you to go and check it on YouTube.
Awesome.
Thank you. Thank you.